Hello, everyone. It's been a while between fog and international duty. Here we are. It's been a couple weeks. We don't have much to talk about, but we do have something to talk about. Another night, another podcast.
Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero o manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estádio e assustá-los, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Doll Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumacic. Here we are. It's been a while. Dave, it's been a bit. How you doing, man?
It has been a bit. I think the last time we were on here, we were all happy and gung ho about an Atletico smashing, and look what a difference. A couple of, I think we're going on 3 weeks here that we recorded a podcast.
Yeah. So we were all high on that. Then Benfica traveled to Madeira to play Nacional, and the fog fiasco, as we are so familiar with, and we hadn't had a chance to speak about that. But before we do, Cristiano is supposed to join us in a little bit, so his picture is up, but he's not here yet. But I wanted to say hello to all the Freddy's Melo, Chico Marcelino, Manuel da Cunha, Diogo Reis, Vamos Embora. The gang is all here, and I'm sure people will be joining us. But yeah, about that Nacional game, I think that in the last couple decades, Dave, 17 games were called or postponed because of the fog at the Chopana, which is customary. It's a high elevation island or high elevation area where the field is situated, and people just haven't been able to figure that out. There's other fields in the island of Madeira, I'm sure. I know that Nacional feels comfortable playing there, but certainly, it's a bit of a conundrum, right? Because there's folks that travel from the mainland, spend good penny on airfare, on hotels to go watch the game, and at the end of the day, they come out empty-handed. They get maybe a little tour of the Madeira island, but I don't know if that's what they went over there for. That's kind of like the bonus. So you just come out with the bonus, not with the main attraction. But yeah. So another game. I'm even surprised that they started that game. You couldn't see anything, and why start the game? I think they played a whole 8 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, Dave. That they will now.
8 minutes when there was already a break in between that too, where they stopped playing for a little bit. They tried to see if that would pass it, but if I'm not mistaken too, they canceled the game, and then I think I saw pictures where like 2 hours later, if they had started the game later on, that the fog had passed away. I know there's always in Madeira, you never know when the fog is, especially where Nacional plays in the mountains there. You never know when the fog is going to roll through, but if I'm not mistaken, the fog did end up dissipating later on in the evening. But again, you never know when that is gonna happen. It is unfortunate if you did travel, if there was supporters that did travel to the islands and make a trip out of it, but hopefully they can get recuperated financially if they did, if they're not able to make it for the next rescheduled match there in December.
Yeah, and as it happens, the way they scheduled it was for I think a time period where there's a Taça de Portugal fixture. in there, if I'm not mistaken. So
December, like the rematch game there.
yeah,
It's scheduled for December 19th.
the makeup.
The makeup game, and it could be. I mean, nothing's scheduled now because Benfica just were drawn against Estrela, but I guess the winner of that match maybe plays in that period as well. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see.
Yeah, so we had the game that was called off. Usually you're able to play the following day, but because of national team or international dates, and there's a mandatory 30-hour rest period between the time that the players play and they have to be with the national team, something like that. It Benfica wasn't able to play the following day, so the game was rescheduled. Then we had the international break, and you guys all know how much we love the international break. And then we had the Portuguese Cup with the team coming back playing Pevidem in a borrowed stadium. And Pevidem, fourth division, Dave, or is it?
Yeah, below the third.
Below the third division. Fourth
Yeah.
division, so the lowest division that could actually be eligible to play the Portuguese Cup, if I'm not mistaken. And Lage did quite a bit of rotation, as he should have, right? I think that Sporting went with more of their players, their starters, because and I get that thought process behind it. They were playing Portimonense. The thought process is like, okay, well, these guys have been out of action for all this time. Let's get them a run out so they could be ready to go for Europe. But that wasn't the case with Lage. Lage lined up with the Samu in goal, Caboret, Araújo, Silva, and Carreras. So that back line wasn't too big of a change there, with the exception of Caboret and Silva, who hasn't been starting. Then in the middle, Tinu, Auschness, and Rollheiser. So Rollheiser coming in for Kokshu. On the wings, Amdouni and Best, and Cabral up front. So Amdouni for Di Maria, Best for Turkoglu, and Cabral for Pavlidis. But look, typical game, Taça de Portugal game. David versus Goliath, if I can use that expression. And the little team is always going to be motivated. This is a game that they will hold in their memories forever, that they will tell their grandkids, and there'll be stories in town. And we played Benfica once, and look, it's one of that. No need to motivate them to play. And those guys, guys that hold full-time jobs, not like Benfica players who are full professionals. I thought they showed themselves pretty well. I thought that Benfica could have done a lot better, being professionals and being guys with at a much higher level. I thought the team could have done better. At the end of the day, it's a 2-0 win for Benfica. It wasn't a dominating win for Benfica, but yeah, it was just one of those games that I really don't know how I would really feel about that game, Dave. I don't know. What were your thoughts?
I think we were fortunate to get the nice quick goal there, a nice cross from Cabore to Best to kind of ease and open up the game for us. But like you said, for a team in the fourth division where these guys have other full-time jobs to make ends meet, this really should have been a bigger result, and something that we put away
Much quicker,
put the game away much quicker. Not that I felt that we were ever in danger of losing this match, but I think our saving grace is that we didn't really give them too much hope, because we've seen in the past where you let these little monkush hang around, and any counterattack can go their way, and they got one in the back of our net. So I think our saving grace was that we got that nice quick goal, settled the team in, and if you want to say we were in cruise control most of the match, I would agree with that. We really didn't give up too many opportunities, but we also didn't really put the throttle down and get more on the score sheet either.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that at the end of the day, regardless, and it wasn't there were new guys there, but I would say the core there was core players there. Tino Auschness, Araújo, Silva Carreras, all core guys. The other guys, I'm saying, if Amdouni can't beat a left back from a fourth division, then I don't know. And look, I don't want to get too down on these guys. Obviously, coming off an international break, and sometimes it's even hard to find the motivation to play against these teams. But I think that they really should have approached this game as like a rehearsal. Let's put into play, or let's put into practice what we've been training. All the dynamics and all the movements and what we've been doing in training. Let's put in, like a rehearsal, like a friendly almost. Just the most important thing is really to follow the dynamics and to put into play what Lage has been showing them. And I really felt that the team kind of felt a little flat. A little underwhelming. Yes, it was a win. Yes, we dominated the possession, but I didn't think we created enough chances. And I think that's what I was looking for. Create chances, even if you don't put them away. Create chances, establish those combinations, those dynamics between the different lines and different sectors of the field, of the team. And I just didn't see that. So I was happy that we won, obviously, but it was a little bit bittersweet for me. So, yeah. But, so we go on in the Portuguese Cup, and now we got Estrela da Amadora at Estádio da Luz. And Dave, if we beat Estrela da Amadora, who were the other two? Do you remember?
Aroca and or Ferenc.
Aroca and Ferenc. You're right about
sure.
that.
Yeah. And that will be away.
Yeah.
If we proceed.
Yeah, that will be away. So Roca and Farense will be if we beat obviously Estrela da Amadora, who struggled in the Taça de Portugal. They were down 1-0 to a lower division team at the half, and then they ended up winning 3-1. But yeah, so keep going to one of our goals, the Portuguese Cup. And that's that. After the Portuguese Cup, which happened over the weekend, we had match day 3 of the Champions League against Feyenoord. The Dutch team came into Stade Luge today, and after beating Atletico Madrid and also winning our first match, I think that everybody was on a high note in terms of positivity, in terms of Feyenoord. Feyenoord is a team that's been doing well domestically. They did lose their last fixture against, I forget who they played. For the Champions League, I think they were beaten. Was it?
They lost 4-0 to Bayern Leverkusen.
Right.
And then, but then beat Girona 3-2. So
yeah,
coming into this match here.
Yeah, and for this match, pretty much a repeat of what we saw against Atletico Madrid. Trubin was in goal, Ba, Araújo, Otamendi, Carreras, Tino Auschness, Kokshu, Di Maria, Artur Koglu, and Pavlidis were the 11 that Lage chose. Bola Caderns is saying, can people finally wake up and see Otamendi is poor? He was never good. He's only rated because he goes diving in, beats his chest, and has a bunch of Mickey Mouse tattoos. Yeah, look, I think that it's a valid point. I think, and Diogo Reis also says his timing, his speed are showing signs of the older man that he is now, especially a top club competition. Yeah, he's a guy that's that's lived off of a lot of on the edge tackles, if you will, like that very risque tackles, guys. And when you're younger and you got the speed and you got the reflexes and you got the positioning, you're able to get away with those. And when you lose a couple steps, then the way you play and your approach to tackles really expose you, and you get beat. You get beat, and we've seen that. We've seen the decline of Otamendi last season a little bit, and this season also. I think the biggest thing that he brings is the leadership, but obviously leadership doesn't always win you games. And I think that we saw a couple examples today, at least on 2 goals, where he was slow, where he got beat. So I don't know. I know that there was during the national team, there was again some conversations about him possibly returning to River Plate or finishing up at River Plate. He himself admitted that he stays up late and gets to practices at Benfica a little sleepy because he stayed up late watching River Plate games. So that there's a little bit of a love story there, if you will. I don't know if it's something that happens over the winter break, but it's just it's tricky, and I think that Otamendi will cost us points over the season, as we've seen him. But it's a tricky situation because when you look at that locker room, he's probably the biggest voice of leadership in that locker room, and sometimes it's hard to replace that. Dave, what do you?
Which is why we when his contract was up 2 seasons ago already, we made the argument to re-sign him just purely more on the leadership aspect of it. But he had an awful game. I think the whole defensive line had a poor game. Where we talk about how we had everything planned and everything went to execution for against Atletico today. Everything just went wrong. I don't feel Carreras had a good game. And just the marking and these second opportunities. I don't know about you. I know the defense kind of left them out to dry, but I felt like Trubin also. I don't know if positioning wasn't there, but there was a couple there where you would like to at least see more of a chance there. I want to watch that third goal from outside the box and see if he could have made a play there. I know the guy was unattended, and like I said, the whole marking on that set piece was poor, but I think there's room there for Trubin to make a save, but I haven't rewatched it since the game. But the whole defensive structure today was just poor because Feyenoord just really capitalized on their chances. We were pushing forward, and they would catch us on the counterattack and made us pay for it.
Yeah. I thought, I agree with you. That Trubin, I've read a couple, both sides. I've read that he could have done a lot more. I've also read that there's a lot of legs in front of him, and he didn't really see the ball and didn't have time to react. So I'm kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm just, just the team didn't perform well today. There was lack of aggression. When I mean aggression, I don't mean you got to flip guys inside out with every tackle. I think you need to be more intense in the way you approach balls defensively. I think that that was missing. A lot of passiveness in defense also. It was just that every time that Feyenoord came to us, it just seemed that they were always finding the players. They were always finding the passing lanes, and we were very passive in allowing Feyenoord to do that. I think that offensively we tried, and there was a point that we were really on top of them. But it's discouraging when you're putting that effort up front and you're trying everything that you can up front, and then the team comes down and the defense allows what they allowed. I think that those are both. I think all three goals are really just passiveness and lack of aggression and lack of focus by the defense. So if there's a sector that you need to kind of point fingers at and blame, it's going to be the defense for this game. I just thought that they were poor. I thought the only player that played well in the defense was Carreras again, on both sides of the ball too, because oftentimes we say that Carreras, he's good going forward, but I mean there was a couple times that he was one of two guys running back there and blocking shots. So he's really kind of emerged as a decent alternative for left back, or even a guy that can make you forget Grimaldo. Certainly, on the defensive side, he's doing well and going forward also. But the rest of the defense, and look, you could look at Otamendi as the leader of that defense. You gotta have your shit together. And it didn't look like he had his shit together.
No, and those are the three that stood on the board. There was lack of or there was passiveness too on the other two that were called back as well from VAR. I feel like we were really fortunate on that one in the first half to be called back, because I think Otamendi kind of made a meal of that push. I know the guy had his arms wrapped around him, but I think he made a meal, and I think we were really fortunate to get away with that one. But again, that was also how that whole goal was on both of them, how they were creative, just lack of just passiveness and lack of concentration, just allowing those plays to materialize. So 3-1 on the score sheet, but could have been much worse as well.
Yeah, and even on the first goal, he's the guy that's supposed to be watching the line and commandeering that back line, and he's the one guy that's putting the guy on the first goal. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's lack of focus. I don't know if he's just slow. I don't know if he's just not engaged. But he didn't have too good of a game. And I think that Benfica suffered because oftentimes, the defense puts the offense in a position where they could win games for us, and with allowing goals that way, you're only going to put pressure on your offensive line. Then things are rushed. Then players are anxious. Then players are not making the right passes, not finding the right players. Players want to do everything themselves. It just screws up the whole chemistry of the team, and that's what I saw today. I was I watched the game maybe finished about a half hour ago or so, and I thought the team going forward, there was a lot of good things that I saw going forward, but in the back it just seemed that every time that Feyenoord came down, as I mentioned, it was just too easy. Just too easy. A hot knife on butter. So, see what else. Go ahead, Dave.
Do we? I don't think Di Maria had a top match, and now with Best coming into form here, coming off the bench, do we go with a Best Artuglu on the wings and start cutting Di Maria's minutes more here? I know what he brings to the field, and he's that X factor, right? He can be a ghost for 60, 70 minutes, but he can change the game at an instant. But like we've seen last season too, he goes when he doesn't have it, he leaves more to be desired there, and you have these other guys on the bench that can bring that intensity and bring that talent as well. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Best there on the wings. Brought in to be a left back, but as we've seen in the past, he's more suited to be on the attacks on the wings.
Yeah, so far Best has been deployed on the left. So I don't know, but Rollheiser came to us as a right winger. You have Prestiani as a right winger. Today Sheldrup was deployed as also as a right winger. I don't think that they will sit Di Maria. I think that Di Maria is a player that could change things with a couple passes or a shot or whatever. But I think that sometimes there's a lack of consistency, right? And I like the fact that Lage is recognizing that today is not his day. 64th minute, he's out, which is great. I mean, Roger Schmidt would keep him until the 85th minute, till he couldn't go no more. But Lage is making the moves, and at the end of the day, I mean, you're a player. You know if you're having a good game or not. And at the end of the day, you want the team to win above you, I would think. So if he's being substituted, I just don't know if Artur Korglu operates best out of the left-hand side, because he's a guy that comes in. Best has been deployed there, so I think either Rollheiser or maybe Prestiani off of that right-hand side, but I don't know. I don't know what Lage is thinking, but I don't think that Di Maria is close to sitting the bench. But it'll be managed. But there's other factors also. Benfica doesn't play by themselves. Teams have scouted this Benfica team. They knew the weak points and the strong points, and we saw that Benfica struggled to make the transition from defense into midfield at some point. So I don't know exactly, how Lage didn't see it, but Feyenoord was really it was really set up in a way that Benfica struggled to come out of the back with the ball in their feet, and then using Koksu to build, using Auschnitz to build. At some point, Benfica really struggled with that, and I think that you choke up Di Maria, you make sure that he doesn't get the space, and that's how teams are going to play us. Teams study us. They watch film. They know what our tendencies are. They know what our guys are capable of, and I think that Di Maria would lack of space. He's not going to do much, and then he's going to try to force balls. He's going to try to force dribbles, and things are not going to go well for him. And I thought that Feyenoord came into Stade Luge today with a really good game plan, and they were able to execute with the help of Benfica's defense. I think that's kind of what boils down to. I don't know what the folks here are saying in chat, but I'm going to try to read some comments here. Diogo Reis, in response to Caderns, was saying that Otamendi is poor. His timing and speed are showing signs of an older man that he's now, especially... Oh, you already mentioned that. Caderns says, mas infelizmente o futebol atual está cheio de imagem. Está cheio de imagem. E as pessoas dão atenção àqueles que parecem do que aqueles que realmente são. Yeah, we're talking about names. Sometimes names don't necessarily are going to give you the best the best performance. Diogo Reis says Renato is a liability. I know we needed fresh legs, but my God, he was horrible off the ball, and the third goal is his fault, leaving the top of the box wide open on his side. I think the third goal, the Benfica is trying to have men and to go on a counter. I don't know, but to me it's amateur hour. You leave a guy like that on that position to have an open look at the goal. I think that's just poor defending. Email says Truman needs to get some glue on his gloves. I didn't think he had a couple saves. I guess you can make an argument on the third goal, but I'm giving the benefit of the doubt because it's close. There's a lot of legs in front of him. I don't think he sees it, and the fact that it's close, it doesn't give him enough time to react. Diocles says, when we subbed off Florentino, we could see how hard it was for us to retrieve balls as a team. Yeah, but Florentino was also on a yellow card already. Yeah, Renato did just come off injury. Diocles says, I don't think we should have used him. He's talking about Renato just to get a run out in Champions League. I didn't like his game at all, especially off the ball. Look, it's a guy that's been stopped for quite a bit. Still rusty. Champions League is a different caliber, different speed. Yeah. So it's just a lot of Di Maria is another one in a wheelchair. Diocles Pavlidis is probably the closest to get benched in this current lineup. The thing that concerns me about Pavlidis is I'm not yet, I haven't given up on Pavlidis because I still think that we need to get Pavlidis more involved in play. He does a lot of things off the ball defensively, but again, it's not. A guy shouldn't get a start just because he does things off the ball defensively. A player like him, for the money that we spent, should be putting balls away. And I think that right now he's just going through a bad spell. He did score that goal that ended up being called back, obviously, but he's a guy that I think there's talent there. I think that there's more. We just haven't been able to unlock his potential. And maybe that will come soon. And maybe all he needs is to grab a couple goals to then go on a tear. But I think that right now you look at him and you look at what options you have on the bench, and shit, I don't know about Cabral.
Yeah, there's not many options there, so it's kind of his to lose at this point. But yeah, I'm not willing to just write him off just yet either. I do think there's a player there, and he'll get into his form there too. Just gonna take some time, and the goals weren't coming today, but in other matches we're getting secondary support from other players on the score sheet there too. It's just bad day at the office for the whole squad defensively and offensively, not putting away our chances that we did create as well too. So and the big picture, 6 points from 3 match days. I think we would have taken it if at the beginning of the Champions League, but we would have thought those 6 points came from match day 1 and 3, not from 1 and 2, and then laying an egg against Feyenoord, right? So good. You got to take the good and the bad when you look at it here.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that's upsetting, right? Is because you got a game at Stade de Luge, right? With a team that's very much accessible, right? I mean, the Dutch league, Feyenoord has been doing good, but very much accessible. And with the level of talent that we have versus theirs, I don't think they didn't have any superstars on their team, but they do have a team that plays well, that's coached well, and maybe this was their Atletico game where things were just going right. It was just too easy. It was just too easy for them. It was just it's frustrating because this could have been 9 points and it could have put us in a extremely good position going forward, right? Because now we have Bayern, right? We have Monaco, and we have
Barcelona, Juventus.
Yeah. So I mean, all
Uh,
very
yeah, it's
high level games. You know, I know that Barca just played Bayern, but Bayern is Bayern. Barca is going to be tough. Juventus is going to be good. You may be able to snatch some points in Monaco. I think you're capable of snatching points against Bayern, Barcelona, and Juventus, but you really kind of put yourself in a position where now you really need those points. While if you got 9 points and you're heading into those games in a much looser and maybe less pressured position and have a chance to kind of go and play your game because you have nothing to lose really because you already got 9 points on your bag. I think that's the thing that frustrates me the most is the fact that this was an opportunity that we could have snatched all 3 points here against Feyenoord that Stade lose in front of 60,000 people, and we missed out. We missed out because the defense was just poor. Defense didn't show up today. So we'll see. Dave, stats on this game?
Yeah, only bright spot here was Artoglu returning to the score sheet with his 5th of the season and his 3rd Champions League goal in 3 Champions League match days, and almost a year to the date since Benfica's last defeat at home, October 24th, 2023, and that came against Real Sociedad as well. So never good losing at the Estadio de Luz.
No, never good. But yeah. So I think that maybe Elijah did say that the team we weren't competent today, and I agree. I think that can't be Roger Schmidt style, top game, top team, top performance. You gotta be truthful. You gotta call a spade a spade. If you felt the team wasn't competent, that there was something missing from the beginning, and that's fine. I applaud you for being that upfront and that truthful about, because we saw the same thing. So hopefully there's some lessons they could take out of this, and just move on. Just move on. And moving on means we got a game this weekend, Sunday, Riwave at Stadio Luge, 6 p.m. local. Don't forget that time does go back in Portugal this weekend, Saturday night or Sunday morning, actually, right, Dave? So usually
Sunday morning, their time, it'll be evening, our time.
Right. So they'll turn their clocks back 1, so instead of 5, there will now be 4 hours difference. So 6 o'clock lands you at a 2 p.m. game here in East Coast of the United States. If that's where you are. If you're in California, like our PAMA media friends, then you do the math. But yeah, what's Riwave up to this year, Dave?
They're currently in 12th position with 8 points from 8 games this season. 2 wins, 2 draws, 4 defeats. Historically, 52 wins, 12 draws, and 5 defeats in the previous 69 meetings. And our last 10, 9 wins, 1 draw. And that draw came last season, a 1-1 draw that finished off our horrendous season last year.
Yeah. And Tony the Animal, he said, I was there today, just arrived now at home for watching one of the worst games since I'm a human being. It's a very heavy statement. But yeah. And look, from a crowd and support standpoint, you could hear the support was there. The crowd was into it. At some point, the crowd tried to push the team to get back into the game. It's just the defense just wasn't there. Defense just didn't show up. So there's going to be games like that. It's unfortunate that it had to be this game, because we really felt that we could have been in a really good position with 9 points in this new Champions League format. and put us in a really nice position to, if not to clinch those first 18, at least to be in that playoff, to be in a good run for that playoff and be a higher seed in the playoff, which is good. But yeah, well, it is what it is. Dave, what else we got to talk about? We don't have to talk about much else, right? We got 40 minutes.
Next Tuesday or next Wednesday, we have the Taça de Liga match against the Santa Clara quarterfinals, but we'll have a podcast on Tuesday.
We'll have a
then,
podcast on Tuesday. Yeah, we'll get that in. Yeah, Cristiano was supposed to pop in, but he never did. His picture is there though. He's with us in spirit. That's all good. Casa do Benfica, Toronto was in the house too. Our president was in a box with ex-players. Yeah, and Casa do Benfica in Toronto just had their anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, right, Dave?
Yeah, I saw.
I thought I saw
something on social media there.
Yeah, Eliseu was there, I think. Couple they had the lady that sings the national anthem that I forget her name. There was quite a ceremony. Congratulations to the Casa de Benfica in Toronto. I know those guys do a great job, and they're fervorous supporters. Anyway, that is all. Yeah, Diogo Reis, tell us more about it. What happened over at the Casa? 800 people in attendance. Yeah, definitely wasn't at the Casa. They rented out a hall.
It was a Union Hall that they were at there.
Marisa Liz, which is the girl that sang the national anthem. Did she also sang Chutes and Pontapés songs, if I'm not mistaken? Cozinha, maybe? Yep. No, but I did see pictures and videos, man, and it looked like a really good time. Congratulations to the Casa and the people that put that together. It was really good. Anyway, that is all that we got for you today. I know it's a short one. Not much to talk about. That Pevidem game, not much to talk about there. And today's game, I think that everybody's a little bit upset about what they saw. We were excited about after the Athletic Madrid performance, and we're excited about what Lage has been doing. But hey, well, Cristiano's here. Cristiano, talk a little bit. Hey, Chris. We were just about to say goodbye. Cristiano. Need to unmute yourself. Works better like that. Hello. And ask him to unmute because he hasn't figured it out yet. Dave, we almost made it, Dave. We almost made it. All right, since Cristiano can't figure out how to unmute himself. Tony the Animal says, was too much time without competition after that. Canceled the game in Madeira. I agree. The international breaks are always a little tricky to get players back into the fold of things. Here he comes again.
Hello.
Então, olha, íamos embora agora, que chegaste agora, but I'll let you have...
This was, when I'm not on the pod, it's a quick one, huh?
Yeah, because you take up all the time talking.
Got a lot of gibberish to say. What's going on? All the Freddies are here? Dave, what's up, Dave?
All the Freddies are
What's going on?
It's been such a long time since we've spoken about our beloved Benfica that I think it would have been good if we took this week off as well. But,
good call.
Seems like they took the night off tonight too.
I know. That's what I'm trying to end at. I mean, what'd you guys say? Anything interesting? I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll have to go back and listen. So everybody, smash the like button. and join me in listening to this wonderful Benfica podcast without my interactions, which I'm pretty sure makes it that whole much better.
No, why don't you give us some? Why don't you give us some thoughts on today's game since it's fresh in your mind?
Today's game, dude. Listen, this is what I'm gonna say, and some of you are not gonna like it. Some of you are gonna think I'm crazy. It is what it is. Listen, it's one of those days that I am once again going to go to sleep, asking myself, why in hell am I a Benfica fan? You know what I mean? It's just I'm tired. I'm tired of being let down. Just when these guys reel you in and they start making you believe that this team has turned the corner, this team is going to possibly do something exceptional in this competition. It's been so long since well, it hasn't been so long. We reached quarterfinals, but then again, we're celebrating quarterfinals as if they're finals. But nonetheless, just very frustrating, very infuriating, very disappointed in this performance. This is a team that Benfica had to beat 10 out of 10 times. I'm sorry, guys. I know some of you might disagree, but in my opinion, we have to beat the Feyenoords of the world 10 out of 10 times. And the most aggravating part about today's defeat was that Atletico Madrid game doesn't mean shit at this moment. Once you lost this game today, that game means nothing, because with the victory today, then those 3 points against Atletico Madrid, who, by the way, lost again in the Champions League today. So maybe they're just a bad team this year, and Benfica didn't do anything spectacular. But nonetheless, it's a game that going in, looking at the schedule, you anticipate Benfica is going to drop points. They didn't, and so it was imperative that Benfica were able to get these points against the Feyenoords of the world to make those 3 points against Atletico Madrid count, and absolutely not. It just puts Benfica right into the middle of the mud once again, facing a Bayern Munich in the next match of this competition, who just got shellacked by Barcelona. You know they're going to want to redeem themselves as well. So again, I thought today was important. Today's 3 points were very important. This team seemed to forgotten how to defend. This team, that's the infuriating part to me, is I watch these guys play, and can one guy grab the ball and be able to take more than 2-3 touches with it? It seemed like hot potato. Everybody's so, I don't know if it's instructions from the coaching and everybody wants to play quick or whatnot, but whatever happened to somebody taking someone on? It just doesn't happen. It's boring ass football. I hate today's football. You know, Alfredo, I've been going on and on about this for years now, that today's football to me is flawed. It's not entertaining. There's no more jogo bonito. It's just a bunch of guys that run all day. And again, today's game needed somebody to grab the bull by the freaking horns and take on some guys and take some chances. And I didn't see any of that. So very, very upsetting. Hugo called me, and you know what? Hugo might have the right mindset. Hugo might actually have put his finger on it, which is, this is why he hates the international breaks, because it killed all momentum. And maybe that is the positive way and the only way to look at it. But you know me, I'm a very critical guy. I'm a guy that lives and dies by every single freaking result. And I'm let down by this performance. I did not anticipate today's performance to be as shit as it was. They outplayed us. They got every second chance. They got every second ball. They just wanted it more than what we did. Maybe we started to believe the clippings that would be the Atletico Madrid 4-0 or whatnot, but still, just a very, very frustrating performance at the start of the loose today, man. Just, it's one of those that just has me shaking my head. Once again, I'm going to sleep wondering, what the hell did I do wrong? Why the hell is this club? It just seems like every time they're ready to turn a corner, they don't. And it just self-inflicting, and it's very infuriating, man. It really is. I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired of this club. Want to call it playing up to competition? It is what it is, man. Like, stop reading your own paper clipping and play football. Yes, you should be Feyenoord 10 out of 10 times, but it doesn't mean you don't show up for the game. So, yep. I don't know, man. Just not a happy camp.
Yeah, we share your frustration, Chris. This was the one opportunity.
Over time and time again, guys. It's time and time again. Why? Why can't this club? Again, we didn't lose to Barcelona. This is not Bayern Munich. It's the Feyenoords that who came out to play at the start of the loose today. Why didn't we show up? And I gotta, and by the way, I gotta bring this back to what, 4 or 5 pods ago. And I got to apologize. You know me, I eat crow and I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong and I have no problem apologizing. And I got to apologize when you, Alfredo, made the statement that not Antonio, what's his name? Araújo. What's his first name? Gustavo. What's his name?
Tomas.
So, thanks. Tomás Araújo seemed to have supplanted Antonio Silva in the starting lineup. And I said, whoa, Alfredo, let's slow down. Let's calm down. Like, Antonio's still a guy that the club believes in, yada, yada, yada. Give that whole spiel of how, Araújo's a guy for the future. And, like, boy, have I been wrong. I just don't understand how they just discarded this guy. What has Antonio Araújo done that doesn't warrant any playing time? I don't understand. And I'm frustrated about that. And you guys know, I haven't really said this on the show over the years, but Alfredo knows, and Hugo sure as hell knows, because we argue about this all the time. I am not the biggest Antonio Silva fan. Alfredo, am I correct or not? Am I lying?
No, you're right.
I'm not the biggest Antonio Silva fan. I never believed that he was the special player that everybody was making him out to be. So for me to be defending him, that shows a lot. I just don't understand what the kid has done to all of a sudden rock the bench. This club shoots themselves in the freaking foot over and over again. They're burning one of their own players. And if it was the case, if they were going to indeed burn this player, they should have just sold him in the summer and kept João Neves. Sold him, because right now, sitting on the bench, he's losing all his value. Am I overreacting? Maybe. I don't think I am. Only time will tell. But I think that they're doing themselves a disservice. They're burning their own player by keeping him on the bench. You were better off selling him for whatever it was. Because at the end of this year, if you continue down this road, you're not even going to be able to get half of what you could have gotten at this past transfer window in the summer. If it was to keep him on the bench, you might as well just sold him and kept going up. So
Yep.
I apologize, Alfredo. You were right. I kind of acted like an a-hole when I said you were crazy, and now I guess I'm the crazy one.
No, that's
So my
fine.
apologies, my friend.
That's fine. That's fine. All right. Well, we were about to say goodbye. I think that you had a whole mouthful. I think that you didn't miss anything. I don't think you.
I mean, just what it could. I don't know, man. It's like we seen some dude I've never heard of. Their striker showed up. Where's Pavlidis? A guy that I thought was going to be good at Benfica. Can he show up? But then again, can I blame him? Can any of us really blame the player? Does he get a ball inside the box? Does he even touch the ball inside the box?
Yeah.
We've got to be the only team in the world who spends $20 million on strikers like we do on a fucking a Snickers candy bar, right? Like nothing. Just throw 20 million at these guys. And then we proceed to bring them onto the scene and never feed them in the box. We got to be the only team that signs strikers over and over, and then we don't feed them in the box, and then we wonder why they all suck. Well, how about feeding these guys? How about actually getting the ball for them in a position where they could finish? How about that? How about that idea? Is that too crazy?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. We have to find a way to put them in play. But
their striker showed up. Little Artokuglu, right? He does what he does. He's always finding himself in the right space. God bless his heart. And he's the only one trying. He's out there shooting and whatever. But come on, man. I need to see more, bro. I need to see players taking on players. I need to see players make a difference on the field. As much as I love Di Maria, if it's to be on the field and take fancy corner kicks, then you might as well just sit on the sideline. I need you to be aggressive. I need you to get the ball and go at players. Force players to commit fouls in dangerous positions. Force players to commit errors because you're constantly on top of them. Instead of this bullshit. No creativity. This team has lacked creativity for years and years and years. And Alfredo, we've been going on this podcast date, and I've complained about this for years. There is no creativity on this team. Koksu was supposed to be the guy. Where was he today? Where's the this guy? I mean, the guy. I'm just so tired of defending him. Oh, it's not a playing out of position. It's because it is. How about actually trying to juke a guy and putting a fucking through ball to somebody and isolating a guy with a keeper one-on-one? Hey, and another one talking about keeper. Ladies and gentlemen, a guy that I was ringing the bell because I said Benfica should side this Antonio. Yes, my bad. I'm speaking loud. Everybody now is complaining because I'm screaming. A player that I was ringing the bell, like, sign through me through. Yo, could the guy make a save? Can he make a fucking save? We're paying him to make saves. Can he make a save? What was that? All the goals were questionable, but especially that third goal. What the hell? What was he doing?
I brought that up too. I haven't
yeah,
seen the replay, but
argument
was it that
that
bad?
he may have
Because we
not
were
seen
talking
the
about
ball.
that.
I'm sorry.
There's an argument that he may have not seen the ball because it was close range and there was a lot of legs in front.
Fine. But he saw it go by him. How about dive?
He saw it go by him.
How about just trying? Like, where's the cat like reflexes? How about like, let me try to get to this ball.
Yeah. Now we spoke about all of that.
Good. I'm glad you guys.
But I'm glad you're kind of reinforcing our points.
Yeah, I'm not the only crazy one. I guess we all see it. And I'm reading. I'm trying to catch up to some of the Freddies. What's up, guys? Thank you very much. And it seems like the Yoga Rays is trying to take a page out of my book and be the only one talking. I'm the only one talking on here in the pod, and he's the only one talking in the chat. But thank you, by the way, Diogo, I love you. I'm gonna send you some stuff later on Instagram. But Diogo was saying, I really don't think that the team played horrible. Hey, look, the team wasn't the worst game they played all year, but it was like they weren't. Like, for the game of the magnitude, the importance of the 3 points, right, would have put them in a nice position going into the next games. And now you got Bayern Munich, you got Barcelona, you got the tougher teams that you're going to finish in this competition, face in the competition. They're up next in the schedule. So today's 3 points were very important. So I would like some urgency. I would like some aggressiveness. I would like this team to put a little bit more effort than what they did. This team came out, a little possession, got caught with their pants down. Got saved by VAR. I don't know how many times they got saved by VAR, but I need some more intensity. The first half, they were okay. The second half, they were a little bit better, but they weren't good.
No.
In my opinion. They weren't terrible. You're right. But they weren't the team that we've grown accustomed to seeing under Bruno Lage.
Especially defensively.
Today, they were not that team. And defensively, I don't understand. I mean, the only guy I think that carried his weight in defense was Carreras, who is a very pleasant surprise. But it's one of those surprises that be careful what you wish for, because he keeps up with these performances. Manchester United will come back and scoop him up for 20 mil. So It's like, God damn it. Even when the good things are going good, you can't enjoy him for too long because somebody's going to snatch this shit right from under you.
Yeah.
So.
Vá. Tá bom. Vamos embora.
Okay, I'm glad I came over in 10 minutes.
No, because you added a lot of good points and you reinforced a lot of the things that myself and Dave said. So which was great.
It was frustrating, man. After that performance against Atletico Madrid, who I said earlier, losing today to Leo is just maybe Atletico was just not good, and that's why we were better. We looked better than what we really are. But again, off of that game, we anticipated Benfica to come out here and build on that performance and really stamp their home field advantage and really, and it was just the total opposite, man. It's a huge letdown, and I don't want to be critical, but boy, what else can you say? Oh yeah, on to the next one. Yeah, let's go to Bayern Munich, and now we'll beat them there. Yeah, sure. We'll get these 3 points back. Today's points were ultra important because of that victory against Atletico.
Yeah, it was a wasted
3 points. I'm sorry.
It was a wasted opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yep. Tá bom, olha, vamos embora. 58 minutes.
Love you guys.
Love you all. Thanks, Chris. Thank you all the Freddies. We'll talk to you again next week.